And if it is a comment on your appearance or anything like that, then fuck those people.
What's going on, everyone? You're watching Emeroy TV, the place to be, to move, groove, and grow. And today we have the homie Chris, Boogy, Marcos, one of the co-founders, I believe, of Double Take Boy Band.
Yeah.
A very talented singer and current lead of American Idiot. I met him primarily through dancing, but then I found out he sang, so then I became a super fangirl. You sure saw me when I got to see one of his shows. I was like crazy. But that's like my quick intro. I'm gonna let him introduce himself real quick about who he is, social security number, his availability, his Instagram, his Tinder profile, all that good stuff. So,
I brought him.
All right, Chris. So let the crowd know who you are.
Chris Boogie Marcos, dancer, singer, actor, like Emeroy said. Yeah, I'm in a boy band called Double Take.
Yeah.
We're more of a man band.
A man band?
But we cover boy band songs. We're the only one on the West Coast.
Really?
Yeah, the only ones.
So you're telling me there's like a whole bunch of them in the East Coast?
There's like at least 4 that we know of on the East Coast.
Oh wow! So cover bands are such a, and I'm aware that there's a lot of cover bands, but I didn't think that there would be a gap in the market for boy bands.
Right, and that's why we found it's such a great market, and everyone loves nostalgia. Especially these days, going back to the '90s and early 2000s, people love those jams. Everyone knows the words to them, so it's a thriving business.
Yeah,
thriving business.
What got you started with? Just giving you guys a quick disclaimer. A lot of this is just pure curiosity for me, and I didn't send him any questions. No. I just told him this is going to be a conversation based off my curiosity. So pretty much. So the intent is that based off these questions, of someone who wants to start something, gives you inspiration and an idea of like how you can get started as well, and stop being a little bitch about it. So okay, how long was it an idea? Like, how long did you sit on it, then researched, and then you finally took action and got the right people? I
was actually brought into the group. We were brought together by a manager in San Diego, and I wasn't in the first lineup of guys for the boy band, but I was brought in when one of my friends dropped out. He recommended me. So I got in to do a 1-gig show in Arizona State Fair. I was booked for that gig, and then that was kind of supposed to be the end of it.
Yeah.
But we kind of formed a bond and saw a market where people love this music, and people love, full-on boy band choreography, boy band harmonies.
Yeah.
So we kind of, as a group, stuck together and, said, where can we take this? How can we make this a show? And so it's not just me, it's kind of all the guys putting their heads together and really coming up with something special.
So it already existed before you were around, but then from your knowledge before that, was it just like, hey, let's get these people together and then perform, and then later on it was like, okay, there's a legitimate market, need in the market for this?
Exactly. So what we were booked for, the manager was contacted and said, I need a band. He's a country band manager usually. But he had this idea of, well, do you like boy band music? I have this idea for a boy band. And they said, yeah, sure, put a group together. So he put a group together just for that 1 gig. But after that, we were kind of like, well, this is kind of fun and people love this. Why not take it other places? It's kind of like, when you do a show and you wish that you had more shows and more chances to do it.
Yeah, I feel that right now because I just put together a project with some friends. I think I invited you to do it as well. For the locking routine.
Yeah,
and I'm like, and then there's like a one-time thing. It's like, fuck, I just want to do. I need another hit. Of just this of a performance with this group.
Yeah. So the good thing about it is it's all open. The possibilities and the opportunities. There's so many of them. So we're kind of in that process where we finally got our solid 2-hour show and we're just pitching it everywhere. We're booked for places in October and November already, and we're just kind of hitting the ground running.
So are you doing that while doing this while at the same time doing American Idiot?
Yeah,
Fuck.
I know it's a lot.
Take me through your day or week.
Oh
'Cause I
gosh.
feel like the schedules can fluctuate with
Yeah.
rehearsals and shows and all that.
This past month has been absolutely insane. American Idiot is all the way out in San Bernardino, and those rehearsals are kind of like set in stone, have to be there from this time to this time. All those in between, like before, in between, and after rehearsals, I'm chatting with the guys, I'm choreographing on the side, I'm mixing music.
Oh, you're mixing the music too?
I wear a lot of hats in this group.
Yeah,
I wear a lot of hats.
I feel you.
But when I'm at rehearsal for American Idiot, I'm solely Johnny, the lead, playing guitar, acting, singing. I'm there. That's what I'm doing.
You play guitar too.
I'm playing guitar in this show.
And you're acting. You're hardcore triple threat.
I try, man. I just can't choose one thing.
You're the type of people I aspire to be, but I'm a one threat. I'm one dimensional in that sense. I don't know if a lot of people are aware of how it is in terms of the professional performance theater kind of realm.
Uh-huh.
Like, do they? I'm curious on your experience. Do they reprimand you if you're late?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Different productions have done different things, but I mean, if you're late, that's kind of like the worst thing you can do. You get cut from numbers. I've worked for companies that cut your pay.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's legal or not, but I mean, if you're working non-union, they can do whatever they want. But yeah, that's probably the worst thing you can do, and it puts you in such a bad light with the cast. Like, why do you get to show up late and they have to show up on time? Like, that's selfish, So, but for the most part, most companies schedule it out so no one's time is wasted, and they'll stagger call times or release times, which is nice. But yeah, be a professional. Show up on time.
All right, so I'm gonna take. We went deep, like really quick. I'm gonna take it back real quick, just a origin story.
Yeah.
For you, how old were you when you discovered singing, dancing, acting? Or I'm pretty sure they all came at different times in your life.
Yeah.
So like, how old were you? And then, I guess we'll start with Derek before the next follow up.
So I started dancing in, I would say 6th grade. Really old school style, like dancing in neighbors' garages and on cardboard boxes and stuff like that.
Shit, yeah,
and I watched the movie Breaking and all those instructional videos, So that's where I started dancing, and then I started like doing high school rallies and stuff like that. But I would always like sing in the shower, and it was always boy band music. I have 2 sisters.
I can only imagine singing in the shower to Slipknot.
But yeah, and then in college, I had my own dance company, and we performed around the peninsula, and I had a couple of members that were involved in musical theater, like in the community theater, and they dragged me to a High School Musical 2 audition and said, "We know you sing, like we've heard you sing, you should just do theater." It's like, okay, I guess, let me see what this is about. Changed my entire life. It was crazy.
Oh, so you hadn't gotten any actual classes or training for acting?
I mean, not for singing or acting. I went to classes for dancing in the Bay Area, but singing, no, not at all. I was just like fresh and green.
Wait, so, okay. That just reminds me of the meme, like, when you go interview for a job you're underqualified for.
Yeah. But a lot of the times, like, in theater, at least from my experience being behind the table, you see potential in people. Yeah. And you give them, that's the great thing about community theater, is they give opportunities to those people that they see star quality in, and they give them the chance, and then they give them the tools to really succeed.
Oh,
that's what I love about theater.
So okay. Yeah, how was your first audition in acting?
Oh man. In acting or musical theater?
Musical theater.
Musical theater?
Yeah.
It was an experience. So usually you're supposed to have sheet music and give it to the pianist and tell them how your song goes.
Shit. Okay.
I just went in and said, I know this song that's another thing, is you want to sing a song that's related to the show that you're auditioning for.
Oh.
Didn't do that. I sang Just Once, like what I forgot who sings that song. Bryan Adams, maybe. I'm not sure. It's an old song, but it's an old like ballady '80s like slow song.
Yeah.
And I sang it for High School Musical 2 audition.
Oh.
So they were kind of like, oh, so you don't have any music? I was like, no, this is my first time. It's like, oh, you've never been to a musical theater audition? It's like, this is my first one. I was dragged here. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I just sang a cappella, no music. And they're like, okay. And they just kind of saw something. So.
Dang.
Yeah.
And then what role did they?
I ended up getting Ryan Evans, Sharpay's brother. So he's like the dance. That's kind of what helped me too. Is my resume had a lot of dance stuff on it.
Yeah.
And Ryan in my High School Musical too, he's a dancer.
Got it.
So they're like, well, he dances and he has a decent voice. So why don't we see what he can do with this role?
Oh.
So yeah.
Now I'm curious, like, because everything's like from the beginning. How did you react when you got the role?
Mm-hmm.
And then did you do any preparation when it came time for rehearsals?
So I was ecstatic. Called my parents right away.
Yeah.
And I was like, so you know how I used to do plays like in elementary school? Well, I'm in this local theater play and I got a lead part.
That's a pretty big deal for your first audition.
Yeah, right. So right away I watched the High School 2 musical movie.
This is the one where they were at that resort, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of like studied that role first because I didn't know about, at this time there wasn't YouTube or anything like that. So I just kind of watched the movie and watched the role. I took singing lessons. I showed my teacher at the time my sheet music and I'm like, I don't know, like I knew how to read music because I played instruments growing up, so I kind of knew, but singing wise I've never read music singing. So I was like, you need to give me like basic 101, how do I be in a musical, how do I do this? But once we got into rehearsals, it was kind of like they take your hand and take you step by step through the process, so it was easy to learn and easy to follow. Yeah. And
then that compared to what it is now, it's like you're expected to know your shit, no hand holding.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, right now I'm in a production with some actors that are kind of just getting started, so I kind of have to be that seasoned actor to help them or teach them in certain what do you call it, theater etiquette, and how to project or hit your marks or anything like that. So I'm kind of like that person now in my older age.
Dang. Thankfully we look young.
Yeah.
We're actually 23, guys.
Mm-hmm. Let's go with that.
You said you were from the Bay Area. When did you know you had to take the leap to come to LA? And I get that a lot because I actually recently got DM'd from someone. I think they live in Minnesota. And then she's got like an unsupportive family saying like, no, you're wasting your time. So it's like, it's a common thing I feel like a lot of artists get.
Yeah.
To move to LA since it's where the majority of the entertainment industry is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did you know when it was time to go? And how did your family or support system feel?
I don't remember the exact moment, but I think I just hit a ceiling where, I was dancing with the dance company. I was doing lead roles in, local theater, and I just wanted more. I felt like I had at least the mindset to take it to the next level. Mm-hmm. And LA was kind of always, the next stepping stone and taking that big leap and putting myself in the pool with, the bigger actors, the bigger shows. And, the family fully supported it. They always knew, ever since I was a kid, I was a ham. I always liked to be in front of the camera and, show off and whatnot.
A ham?
Yeah.
What the hell? I've never heard
ham.
this.
You never heard this?
I know hard as a motherfucker, but not ham.
No, people say like, you're such a ham. Like you're obnoxiously like in
I've never heard this term.
Really? Wow. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, they fully supported like the move to LA. They knew I was not too far where they couldn't, come help me if I really needed them. It's like 4.5 hour, 5 hour drive from where I live. So I'm still in California. So they're like, okay, as long as you're like still kind of
Still
close
in California?
by. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've always fully supported. They come down to watch shows and.
Dang, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so when you get to California, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you already know people coming here?
I had a friend that I did local theater with back home that moved down here first. So he was living here for about a year.
Okay.
Then I came down and we moved in together. So he kind of showed me the ropes and we kind of grinded it out together. Yeah. Now he's in New York and he's like touring and
Dang,
yeah, he's doing great things. Shout out to Ken Neely. But yeah, him and I like left the A31 and we were kind of like the two guys that were always landing lead roles in local theater, and we went off to kind of pursue more things. So we always had great support from back home.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So your first week in LA or first year, what was that like? It was like
tough.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I mean, I was expecting to get a job, a minimum wage job right away. It took me like 2 months to find a job.
Wow.
Just to pay bills. So that was kind of stressful for a while. And then
what year did you move down?
2011.
Okay, so it's like we're still kind of recovering.
Yeah.
From stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But as far as career-wise, I was very lucky because I had a manager back home. I used to teach Dare Dance.
Oh, nice.
And our director, she had connections in LA.
Yeah.
So she connected me to an invited call for a dance agency. And so I landed a dance agent within the first like 6 months.
Nice.
Which was
That's
perfect. So
wow, within their first 6 months, a lot of dancers like try to come to LA and still have a hard time getting an agent.
Yeah. So I was very fortunate in that sense. So I was already in the rooms with, people I watched on TV and looked up to as choreographers. I was there auditioning with those people.
Shit.
It was terrifying.
Like, yeah, I was about to like, how was your first audition experience with an agent?
It was hard because I was struggling with, do I want to stay true to who I am as a dancer, or do I want to try to adapt to what they want? And the good thing about that specific audition was I didn't know what they wanted or what they needed, or did they want a break dancer, did they want a popper, did they want someone that did crazy flips?
Yeah.
So I kind of just stayed true to myself in that sense and just kind of showed a lot of personality and showed my versatility, and they took me on right away. Luckily, like, timing is freaking everything in LA. You never know when they're gonna need like an Asian dancer that pops break dances a little bit. I was right in the correct timing for that one, so they picked me up, and yeah, we're off to the races.
Respect, dude. Are you still with that agent?
No, I'm with a different agency now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang. So describe, I'd say, like, having to balance you're getting these gigs, or you got your first agency, but the reality of like a working dancer, so to speak. So some people are asking, can I just go there, get an agent, and I'm good? Or do I have to get a regular job in the meantime while, trying to do these auditions? Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's hard. And the path that you think you're going to take to get where you want to go is not going to be that path. I've found that my dreams and aspirations have changed a lot from when I first moved out here, just because of curveballs or anything that was thrown at me that I wasn't expecting. But it's a struggle. I mean, I always say, get a job, get a serving job, suck it up, and get those jobs that are going to allow you to practice your craft while you're living.
Yeah.
You have to live. So those people that just like all they do is dance and all they do is drain their savings, those people don't stay in LA very long. So I always say be practical about your living situation and your income, but at the same time you have to find those jobs and that balance to pay your bills and live comfortably, because that fuels your arts and your creative intentions and all your endeavors. That basis of your living is kind of really important.
Yeah, I think that's a reality that a lot of people refuse to accept is a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Because people say there's a whole thing like follow your passion. Yeah, follow your passion, but doesn't mean your passion is going to pay the bills right off the bat.
Yeah.
So and then and especially like me starting my first, not my first movie, but Vision Paradox.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I was only a freelancer doing it at first, and I still had to. Thankfully, I had a quote unquote regular paying job as a hip hop dance theater artist.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I think if your basic needs aren't taken care of, then you do things that are like short term. You start doing desperate actions instead of actions that are like more long term.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because some people are like, oh, I'm only going to do this if I can get paid because I need to fucking pay rent next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so tell me, okay, now let's switch back to Double Take. What kind of projects are you guys currently working on? Because I know you guys are doing shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tell me about any upcoming shows or any other projects you guys are working on.
So we're slated to play in Lake Elsinore in the beginning of October. It's a place called Canyon Cowboy. We've been there before. It's like a country bar. It's really fun there. And then we're talking to House of Blues in Anaheim for a Halloween show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I think there's a place called Tin Roof. I forgot where that is. I think it's in Fullerton. We're doing that. But the big picture, we definitely want to pitch out to like the fair circuit, because Arizona State Fair is kind of one that we do every year, but we're trying to like kind of branch out and do more of those. And the cruise line circuits, they would love a boy band show on a cruise line. So that's kind of like the next 2-year plan. That and upping our social media game, coming out with cover videos, more Instagram footage and content, and yeah, just kind of getting our name out there more.
Okay, you touched on social media, and
Yeah.
obviously I have a social media company. I'm curious now, like how is you guys are doing covers, which I'm like a huge supporter of, because it helps bring people to the familiar, and then they get curious about your other work. It's like like covers are like the gateway drug to your music.
Yeah.
That's how I view it.
Yeah.
Like how are you guys leveraging social media for exposure?
Mm-hmm.
And what are your thoughts on having a big social following in terms of the scheme of things? I feel like that's such a I guess an unnecessary evil. I hate that.
Yeah.
But for some that certain agencies or companies take into consideration.
Oh yeah.
Before going into booking,
Mm-hmm.
which and then again, I've heard stories from, and I've witnessed over the shoulder people doing shortcut things in terms of buying followers.
Mm.
So like, I guess the first question 1A would be, how are you guys leveraging it for exposures?
Uh-huh.
What 1B would be like your thoughts on the whole follower vanity metrics generation.
Mm. So it's tough because you want to have great footage on your social media, because that's what the clients want to see. You can't just tell them that, oh, we have a boy band, they're all great singers, they do full-on choreography. They're like, I want to see it. So that footage is very integral to our pitching. And then once we're past that, the client will be like, okay, they're great. What kind of following do they have? What kind of crowd are they going to bring to my venue? And that's kind of what we're working on now. Is you have to have a following for a client to be like, they have a lot of followers. A lot of these followers are going to come to my place. So yeah, I'll book those people. So it's tough. We're trying to get up there, but it's such a tricky game with social media. But it is an element that's part of our industry these days. Like I know agencies that strictly have like an influencer department.
Really? Oh yeah. Okay, I'm aware of the department. I thought you're gonna say like influencers only audition. I'm like, fuck,
No,
10K enough. Bye everyone.
but I've seen those like those casting notices that are like, how many followers do you have? I'm like, what does that matter?
Yeah.
But it matters. Yeah, it's part of it.
And I explained like the way, and you brought it up too, that companies are trying to leverage the attention you have when it comes to how to push product.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
so it's become more, not just what can I do for this artist, but what can this artist do for me?
Yeah.
Not just through your talent, but in terms of the attention that you have.
Mm-hmm.
What social media platforms are you guys on, and do you guys have a primary one?
Yeah, we're on. We have our website, doubletakeboyband.com. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Double Take Boy Band. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, are you guys on TikTok?
We're not on TikTok yet.
I've been pushing that
Yeah.
hard. Yeah, I don't know if you saw my stories a couple of days ago.
Mm.
TikTok's literally like number 6 in Google Play,
Uh-huh.
and Instagram is number 23, and on the Apple Play Store, TikTok's number 3, Instagram's number 6.
Wow.
So, and then it's big worldwide, and there's a lot of articles writing about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if things come into play, or things fall in the right place,
Mm-hmm.
I think TikTok within the next year, or a little bit more, is going to be the next challenger, or the potential challenger to take out Instagram.
Wow.
Much like how Facebook was the big dog, 2008, 9,
Yeah.
10, 11, then 2013, 14, 15, I think Instagram started pushing out of its place.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing's going to happen to TikTok.
Interesting.
I think it's, and for those of you listening right now, it's like, if you missed the Instagram boat and you feel like you've been trying to catch up and it's way too saturated, yada yada yada, I mean, I think you can still make it. It's just a lot harder.
Yeah.
TikTok is like, I think, the next gold rush. Even though there's a lot of TikTok influencers already, it hasn't penetrated mainstream yet. My friend, who's a perler, he gets more business from TikTok, and within 6 months he got 30K.
Wow.
And then, and whereas he's been on Instagram for 3 years, he's still breaking 3,000.
Wow.
So it's like,
Interesting.
I'm bringing that up because you guys do music,
Yeah.
and TikTok is all about music. You don't have to worry about copyright. You don't have to worry about. Yeah, that's like the big thing that's turning off a lot of people too.
Yeah.
Your shit gets muted or taken down. TikTok is like free reign right now. It's the Wild West of like how Facebook and Instagram were in its early days.
Yeah.
Where like there wasn't a whole lot of regulation around your content, which I think is perfect. And if you guys, I don't know if it's allowed because you guys have original music too.
We're working on some original stuff too. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure if you can upload your original music there, other people can then do a dance to it.
Oh, cool.
So it's like, yeah, I think it's pretty. I think free, or like, even though there's a lot of it's huge worldwide. The advantage I think TikTok has over Facebook and Instagram is that it's actually in China.
Mm.
So and China's huge.
Yeah.
India's huge. It's big in those two markets, and those are two like densest populations in the world.
Mm.
So then there's just a lot of possibility with it.
Wow.
So people are considering it like the next Vine, which I do see because there's a lot of people doing Vine-like sketches on there.
Uh-huh.
But I also see people being smart as hell with how they use the music there as well.
Mm.
So it's like,
We'll definitely have to get on that then.
I started taking it more seriously this week, and I went from like 50 views per video because I was posting once a week to like 500 views.
Wow.
So like every time I post.
Wow.
So it's like it's a grab right now. I'm saying like
I'm gonna do that today.
yeah, dude, get on it. Oh, it's gonna be, and you can do, and it's like the better version of Dub Smash because originally it was supposed to be, prior to it being called TikTok, it was called Musical.ly, and Musical.ly was obviously for lip syncing. But now it's evolved into something more. And then athletes are already on it. Snoop Dogg's already on it. A lot of celebrities are already on it.
Mm.
When I was working with Omarion, he was already on it promoting his music.
Wow.
So it's like
Okay. TikTok. I see you, TikTok.
yeah, so like
Gotta get in now.
yeah, heads up because because a lot of people were asking what's the next big social media platform.
Mm.
Because like all these other platforms are kind of passing are old already.
Yeah.
And Snapchat has slowed down because Instagram
Right.
fucking jacked its
Yep.
features.
Yep. Smart though.
Okay, so aside from what do you do outside of from dancing and like how do you balance yourself out from the intenseness of rehearsals?
Man, I'm I bowl in a bowling league.
You do?
Yeah. Bowling's
that's
like
tight.
it's a family sport. So my entire family bowls, and we did tournaments growing up and stuff like that.
Sick.
So that's kind of like my golf course is the bowling alley. It kind of like shuts everything out, and kind of like in a way brings me back home. Even though like they're far away, like it kind of like gives me that nostalgia feeling. So I do that. My girlfriend and I like to go out and try different foods and
It's always the best.
yeah, different restaurants in LA and whatnot, festivals and stuff like that. And yeah, just anything that promotes fun, like I'm all for it. Yeah, that. And I mean, I've been recently trying to work out more too, and it's been helping a lot. Yeah. It's been helping a lot because I have more energy throughout the day to accomplish all the things that I have to. And it's kind of, I've realized how important it is, for especially in getting older, you have to like have a balanced diet. You have to be active, especially if you're having these long 10-12 hour rehearsals. Like man, that working out comes in clutch for sure.
Yeah, dude, this is like things that we're talking about in our mid-20s. How we wish we knew when we were younger.
Yep.
When we were 16.
I do.
So dude, because like when we were like high schoolers, like we ate whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
But like now I'm thinking like, damn, if we had the same eating habits and work ethic in terms of working out, I think we'd be like a whole nother level of preparedness for everything.
Yep.
Dude.
Yep. I wish I knew all that a little earlier. Like I phased in and out of working out and staying healthy, but in that older age, man, makes a humongous difference.
Do you have any like chronic injuries?
I do.
Which ones? Mine's are like knees, ankles, lower back. Every morning I have to freaking do some therapy of some sort.
Yeah, mine are neck,
back, pussy.
Yeah. It's usually neck, lower back, and my hips, my hip flexors.
Oh yeah, me too. Fuck.
Yeah, man, those are like fucked.
Yeah. Oh, is it from how'd you injure it?
I think of all the stuff that I used to do as a teenager in my early 20s without stretching, and
we actually have to warm up now.
Yeah, that's a real thing. It is a real thing.
Warming up, and so you mentioned about how it gives you energy. How about sleep? Like, well, how many hours do you aim to get?
Try to get 8 every day.
Yeah.
Usually doesn't happen, but I aim for 8 hours because anything below, I would say 5 hours of sleep, that day is not as productive as an 8-hour sleep day. It's just I don't know. Like I've come to a routine where I will be asleep within these hours, and I'll wake up within these hours, and it helps that I have a dog because he wakes up at the same time every day.
Okay.
So and waiting to be taken out, so that helps a lot. But yeah, man, sleep. I love sleep.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm trying to like bring more awareness to is like we work our asses off, but sometimes it's at the expense of our own self-care.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right now at this current moment in time, it's a very cool thing to be like, oh, I got 2 hours of sleep. And like 3 hours of sleep, like fuck, dude, how are you functioning right now? And some people do, some fucking people do drugs.
Yeah.
But it's like those are short-term solutions. That's really the band-aid
Mm-hmm.
of it. And then I think people underestimate the importance of sleep because how it makes you just function better. The longest I never went without sleep was 6 days.
Oh my God.
That was because I was working on a super huge project in college.
Mhm.
I slept under the desks. No, on my last day, I slept under the desk of the public computer lab, and I woke up because people like pulled a chair and someone kicked me awake. I'm like, oh shit, it's like time to yeah. So
Oh my God.
yeah, so I've been through those binges of not sleeping, and I tell you, man, there gets to a point where everything feels hazy,
Mhm.
and it's just hard to focus. And I'd much rather have like I'd much rather have 10 hours of sleep and 4 hours of super focused work versus 3 hours of sleep and 12 hours of trying to push through.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference of how your focus is.
Mm-hmm.
And what are your thoughts on the whole idea of like self-care or even mental self-care or mental, I guess, illness also?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's not maybe it's not in the realm of mental illness, but more self-care instead of
Yeah.
self-sacrifice.
I mean, I don't know if this falls into this category, but I've been trying to get into meditation.
Oh, hell yes.
And yeah, man.
Meditation's the shit.
And it kind of like centers you. And my mind is always thinking about the next thing. So like always thinking about what I have to do that day, when I'm going to do it, how am I going to get from this place to this place in this time.
Yeah.
But that meditation, I've been doing like, I've been starting off like 10 to 30 minutes.
Wow, you went hardcore compared to me. I started
Really?
with 5 minutes.
And it's guided meditation, so it's it kind of like shuts everything out and just kind of brings you back to center and present, and really makes you appreciate the things that you have, and your health, your breathing, like the things that we kind of skip over throughout the day. Just being so self-aware of all the things that you need to do or the people that you need to talk to, you forget about yourself sometimes. And I think it's been helping me kind of, with those tasks that I have to do throughout the day. It's like, well, I had my 10 minutes to myself where I don't have to worry about anyone else. I don't have to worry about, the task. I can just focus on myself. And I think everyone should really take that time, to kind of reflect and just, appreciate things that you have, because then the rest of your day kind of those like things that you would usually get mad about or frustrated about don't seem that important.
And I think I like that. Just like 5 minutes to yourself, 10 minutes to yourself.
Yeah.
Is so impactful, because it's like everyone is trying to stretch you towards their agenda. There's things that you need to get done, and a lot of people forget to take care of themselves first.
Yeah. It's like giving yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah.
It's like you deserve it.
Yeah, especially with the crazy demands that Western society kind of asks. So how long have you been meditating?
I'm still pretty new to it, so I started maybe about a month ago.
What was your first experience? Because I used to teach with my company, FanBiz. Every rehearsal we had to meditate, and I'm always curious as like the first time experiences in meditating.
It was hard. My girlfriend did it. She's been doing it for a while, and I did it with her, and it was just really hard to focus. I felt like my posture wasn't right. I was so focused on doing it correctly that I didn't fully get the right experience, but that's not what meditation is about. It's kind of like freeing yourself and letting yourself be. And it took me a while to kind of get in that mindset, and it didn't really hit me until I went by the pool and did it and put my feet in the pool, because they're like, you don't have to sit cross-legged. You can lay down, just be in a comfortable position. So I put my feet in the water, I sat up, and I just was present. And I was like, okay, this is what it's like. This is what I'm supposed to be.
That's tight. That's a cool breakthrough to have to experience.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy.
What app are you using? Are you using Headspace?
I'm using right now. I'm using just YouTube videos. There's a guy, Jason Stevenson, that's has like a great series of videos, and he has ones that are for beginners. He has one more advanced ones. He has short ones, long ones. So he's great.
That's dope. Yeah, I that's freaking dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember the main lesson that I always taught my dance team or family business
Mm-hmm.
is that, because I notice a lot of them feel anxious
Mm-hmm.
within their first few sessions, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my favorite lesson, I always tell them, like, everything comes and goes. Like the frustration you feel in rehearsal, the frustration from every day, this moment, everything comes and goes just like the breath.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like just learning how to kind of appreciate the breath instead of just taking it for granted, because this moment might have been someone's last.
Yep.
So
exactly.
then they're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you've been doing it for a month. Do you notice like a difference in terms of like your, I guess, headspace before and after?
Mm-hmm.
Because we can't exactly do like transformation Tuesdays or whatever. Two transformations like, oh, I was 10 pounds heavier and then I'm like 1% body fat now. Like, we can't do a before and after photo of our brain.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I always realize that after a meditation, my day it kind of floats. It's kind of not go because this industry, especially in LA, it's like go. Yeah. Now I can kind of like stroll and be like, let me take this in, let me take this in, let me take this in, and it's more. I'm definitely more present, and especially like for this show, for example, it's a one show, which is very unlikely for musical theater. We usually get a run of like 3 or 4 weekends, but this is one show.
Yeah.
And what meditation has helped me with is really taking in each moment and taking in every single second, minute, hour with this beautiful cast, the opportunity that I have, the show that we're putting on, really taking it for what it's worth, and that one show, really appreciating that one show that I have.
I like how you're talking about appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
Of like where you're at, where things are, and I kind of want to tie it into like people who just get out of college, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then they feel like they have to, like, say early 20s, like us.
Mm-hmm.
They have to make it by 30,
yeah,
by 25, be married by 21. Like
Mm-hmm.
and then because of that mentality, they don't really appreciate the now, how young they really are.
Yeah.
So like, well, I guess what would you have to say to someone who's like 20, who feels the pressure that they have to make it by the next 5-10 years, or even a year, who feels that kind of pressure?
I mean, one, never lose that, that hunger and that, drive. But at the same time, it's okay to take a second and really take everything in, take in your surroundings, take in the situation, because, that moment, I think, to quote The Office, there was a really cool quote that Andy said was, I wish you knew you were in the good old days while you were in it, or something like that.
Oh, dang,
you always say
chills right now.
So like you never know that you're in the good old days until those are gone,
Shit,
so it's really like, you don't want to look back on a situation and be like, man, I really wish I appreciated this more.
Shit, that really hit home for me right now, dude. I feel that.
It's true, man. Like we keep on going and trying to do all these things, but sometimes you just need to stop and really be like, I appreciate this.
Yeah, shit. Because like, you can easily look. I'm pretty sure anyone who's watching can easily look back towards a time in your life where it was like, damn, I missed that. Like, oh, I miss high school. When I didn't have to pay for bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When I didn't have chronic injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm reminded that even more now that being a dad, because
Mm-hmm.
you see him changing more and more. So like, for me, it's like, I don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
because it's like you don't get that time back.
Right.
So speaking of time, like, do you have a particular process in, I guess, time management? Do you have any hacks or or tools you use?
Not really. I mean, like I said, my brain kind of works forward, so I'm always kind of planning on, timing and looking up traffic and
Nice.
like those things are important because I hate being late to things. Like I'm always the person that's
What?
15
The
minutes.
Filipino that's on time?
Right? I'm a rare breed. So I'm always like 15 minutes early to stuff. I was 15 minutes early.
Yeah, you were
today.
hella early. Yeah, I'm like, when you sent me the text, I'm like, I was in the middle of editing. I'm like, oh, I guess I gotta start getting ready. But it took a lot more because this is actually the first time I'm actually using a 2 mic setup. All these extra lights, better look good. Better enjoy.
All this guy. But yeah, man, just like kind of. I mean, I've always kind of been an organized person. Scheduling is really important to me, and I hate being late or wasting people's time. So I always make sure that I'm fully there.
I hate wasting time so fucking much.
Yeah.
Pisses me off. It's like it's honestly one of my biggest pet peeves, and honestly, I think it's one of the reasons I'm hesitant to hang out with friends.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because it's like, I could be working on something for myself right now, and it sounds super egotistical, but it's also because part of it's because I have control of that outcome of what that looks like.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you hang out with friends, like going to love languages. My primary love language is acts of service. So I like the idea of doing things, and when I'm with people, I like the idea of things, I guess, moving towards that.
Yes.
This kind of helps that.
Yeah.
We're kind of hanging out. Yeah, at the same time, and it's going to help in terms of content and like a grand scale.
Mm-hmm.
But when I have friends who, the next thing is quality time. I like, if I'm going to spend time with people, it has to have intent.
Yeah.
We're going for a hike. We're going to watch a movie. We're going to eat. Where the intent is the food.
Mm-hmm.
But I have friends who just like to lounge because that's their quality time dialect. Like they don't have so. But for me, that drives me nuts because we're just lounging and not doing anything.
Yeah.
So like we're just drinking, and I mean, I think I enjoy it. There's times I do enjoy it and I crave it, but like 90% of the time, I'm like, I'm gonna go. Is that is that how it is for you? Like,
yeah, somewhat. I mean, I do get that. That's some people's dialect, and I fall into that category sometimes. But like you, I'll look back on a day and be like, man, I could have worked. I probably could have made some money today.
Yeah. But then there's also that, because then I also think of like, when I'm older, how close am I going to be with my friends in terms of retiring? Because it's at the end of it, your job doesn't give you a eulogy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like your kind of friends.
Yeah.
That's one of those things. Like, okay, am I going to regret? Not. I guess it comes back down to like what's going to make you happy now and then move forward. But it's also like, I guess the question is like, for me is like, will I regret not spending time with these people when I'm 80?
I see. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, especially here, it's hard to have friends. It's hard to hang out, and it's hard to schedule actually seeing a person face to face. Because I have friends that, are considered close friends that live really close by that I barely see just because of scheduling and,
me too. Like
work
literally
and
freaking down the street.
Yeah. So it's hard. So it's definitely like you have to put forth the effort to hang out with someone. But at the same time, you're always like, well, is my effort going to, pay off? Like, is this worth doing?
Yeah.
So I totally get it.
So I think that's one thing. I especially for those of you who don't live in LA or don't live in a big city, we do kind of live in that hustle kind of environment. Mm-hmm. And I think if you're the type of person who needs to spend time with them, it's, I guess, be prepared to be flexible and even disappointed, because it's nothing against you. It's just like everyone here, well, not everyone, a lot of people who come here have a drive and a dream to achieve. They're just doing actions that align with that, that make sure that it's serving the greater purpose of things. experience. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes like that involves sacrificing time with friends and family and partying. I mean, even the greats, documentaries like Kobe sacrificed family time.
Yeah.
Jason Kidd, all of them, they freaking sacrificed going out to parties. And it's like, there's, I guess, if you have an ambition, you have to be willing to do what it takes to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But again, not at the sacrifice of taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a very intense balancing act from being able to pull from both sides.
Yeah.
Some people go to all the way to the extreme and they burn out, or they do nothing and nothing progresses.
Yeah.
So like, okay, so I brought up burning out. So like, when was the worst burnout you've ever experienced? Do you experience burnout because you're so perfect? When was your worst burnout experience, and how do you recover from it? Or how did you recover from it?
Man, the worst burnout. I think I was working on 2 shows at one time, on top of working a part-time job, and I remember when those shows kind of ended, I got really sick because often what happens with me is, I'll align myself with a bunch of projects and I'll go. Then when those projects are done, my body just shuts down. Is like, you need to slow down.
Oh.
So I got really sick for like a week, and I spent a lot of time in bed, and it was just because my mind works faster than my body wants to.
Mm.
And that's probably the worst one, but those really don't happen too often, especially because I'm on the self-care kick. But yeah, they definitely happen though.
This is one of my questions I used to ask a lot. Like, tell me a time where things were like tough, like should I give up? Kind of tough. And what was the inner dialogue that you had to do to keep moving forward?
I think there was an audition I had one time where it wasn't said, but it was implied that my face doesn't belong on TV.
Oh.
And it was a comment.
There's a side comment that you overheard?
Yeah, gosh, I don't even remember what it was for, but I heard that, and I heard a comment about my eyelid. And my eyelid, it's always been kind of a sensitive subject growing up, and I've always contemplated getting it fixed, or not fixed, but worked on. And I always thought, at that time, I was like, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe my face doesn't belong on TV. Because a lot of people don't look like me on TV. I get it. They're probably right. But it took a really strong support system to talk me out of it, to talk me out of getting an operation, to talk me out of not moving back home, to talk me out of, or to talk me into, you're supposed to be doing this. Lots of conversations with friends and family that kind of reminded me that no, there's other things for me, and yes, I'm supposed to be doing this. And I go, like, I'm sure a lot of people go through this stuff, especially getting 10,000 no's before you get a yes. That it's a normal thing.
It's a numbers game.
Yeah,
yes.
It really is, and it's nothing against you. And if it is a comment on your appearance or anything like that, then fuck those people. It's been a long journey of kind of accepting the way I look and accepting that this is me, and this is what I'm rolling with throughout this career.
Did you do that one? I saw you on TV.
Oh,
that one.
The Oscars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it for that song?
Yeah, This Is Me. Yeah,
right.
The Greatest Showman.
Dude, that song. I watched that movie in the plane. I cried the whole movie. Like, I'm not supposed to be crying on the fucking plane right now. But that's such a powerful song.
Yeah.
And I'm just piecing that together. It's like your journey, and then that's I don't know how I guess powerful that moment was.
Oh man, you have no idea how many strings that hit, because for our audition tape, we had to send a tape, which I found that casting notice through a theater company that I auditioned for but didn't work for, and they're like, you should submit to this. So the instructions were sing a song, one, learn this dance, and tell us what this song means to you. And in my tape, I was like, well, you know, being in this industry and not having a face that you normally see on billboards, having a lazy eye, I've had to deal with people saying no to me all the time. But like the song says, like, this is me, accept me for who I am. If you don't, I'm still accepting of who I am.
Shit,
so
body chills now, too, dude.
And that was the great thing about that performance, is that those people that were on stage had stories like that. And, you know, they were talented people, but maybe had a lot of experience with physical features that people didn't want.
Yeah.
And just to be out on that stage on national TV and to, you know, look up and see Denzel Washington and Meryl Streep in the front row.
Yeah.
It was like a culmination of my entire journey. It was like, I've stuck with I've rolled with myself all this time. This is where it brought me. So yeah, I'm on the right path. It's crazy, bro.
I'm getting a third round of chills right now. Because it's so fucking cool hearing that, because it's like you get here, you're struggling for 2 months, trying to get a job to pay bills.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're fast forward, like doing shows, and now all the way to Grammys,
Oscars.
Yeah, Oscars. Did you have an expectation of how long it would take? I was like, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be on this by next year.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of set goals and things like that, and especially when I first moved out here, I'm like, I'm going to be on a TV series by this year. But like I said, the path kind of changes as you go through it, and you're going to take turns that you didn't think that you're going to take.
Yeah.
So I've kind of come to, like, I still set goals just so I can still have the drive and, you know, really go for it.
Kind of gives us like something to aim for.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm accepting of the fact that it might not happen right away. It might not happen at that point, but it still could.
Yeah.
You know?
It just won't happen on your timeline.
Yeah.
Okay.
It never happens on your timeline.
Yeah.
It never does.
I think that's what made me excited for that story is like it happened when it was supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I think that's one of the things that who are like, I don't know, maybe type A personalities or people who are first timers and want things to happen quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's really about, because we don't have control of the goal we achieve. Shit, like I want to make an extra $1,000 in a month. Okay, that's the goal, but it's always like what happens in between.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do the things that get you there, then it's not going to happen. And even then, there's going to be goals that we set for ourselves. And no matter how much work we put in, it's like it doesn't happen. And I think that's where it's discouraging for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Which is something actually now I'm curious about. Like when set these goals, like in your earlier days, like when you didn't hit these goals, what was the impact on you, and what was the process to continue striving for it? Because like I said, people are like, oh damn, I didn't make it in a year, guess time to move back home.
I mean, I'm the type of person that kind of takes negatives and forms them into positives, so I kind of use that as, you know, the driving force to work harder. And I think that's a really hard thing for people to do, but luckily, like I'm very like headstrong, and I kind of like, you know, keep that drive and that motivation. Like the haters motivate me, and like all those no's motivate me to get to that yes. But again, I'm not perfect. I definitely have like those times where I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
But like I said, to have a strong support system is very important in this career. People that can relate to what you're going through, people that can lift you up, that can, you know, talk you through situations that you can't tell yourself. Sometimes you just have to hear it out loud, you know, because you're not going to say that stuff to yourself out loud, you know, and sometimes you need someone else to like remind you of that kind of thing.
especially if you're in that tough spot. Even saying some positive things are a little hard to hit because right now, at that moment in time, it's like an echo chamber of like not feeling worthy.
Yeah.
But sometimes that one affirmation from someone else is like the ripple effect to change everything else.
Absolutely.
Okay, so when it comes to auditions, like how do you prep yourself? Like how do you psych yourself up? Is it and is it different from? I'm guessing it's different from getting yourself psyched up for a show.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what it is. Some auditions you go, especially like commercial auditions, you just be yourself, and you take what you're given, sides or a song or anything like that, and you kind of put your own little twist on it. Because even if I'm playing a character, I kind of like to bring a part of myself into the audition room. So that's that. But I mean, as far as musical theater auditions or anything like that, like you prep your songs, like you practice your songs, memorize your lines. I mean, yeah, it really depends on what it
is there things that you do like to help prep you mentally? Because everything in my experience is dance. It's like someone you can know the choreo, but then what I notice, like people who can really perform are the ones who are most mentally ready.
Yeah. Because
when the pressure hits, it doesn't matter how often you've practiced, if your mental game isn't on point, you're gonna fuck up.
Absolutely. I mean, I always kind of really focus on being present. Once I get in the room, I am in that room. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm not thinking about, the next thing I have to do. Those are my worst auditions, is when I get in the room and I'm already thinking, well, what's traffic going to be like? Am I going to get to work on time? Those are the worst auditions. Those are the ones that I don't fully give my best performance. But before I go in the room, I make sure to go over my material and just really tell myself, be present.
What's an advice that you would give to someone who is afraid to follow, I guess, their heart or their passion? Someone who wants to follow singing, or who wants to, but they feel a level of insecurity that's preventing them to go.
I would say, I mean, I always preach just go for it. Like if you're really passionate about it and it's something you want to do, then go for it. Because I mean, living a life that you're not happy with is kind of not the right path you're supposed to be on. But as I've gone through this career, I've noticed how important it is to stick with it. Like really give it time and have no expectations on the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you're scared, like the best thing to do is leap into it. Honestly, like it's
ready, fire,
it's
aim
so
kind of deal.
Yeah, it's so cliche, but I mean, you have to dive headfirst into it.
All right, dope. I think let's finish it with one more question.
Yeah.
I think this question was inspired by Lewis Howe's School of Greatness, and I really like it, and I'm taking it and I'm implementing it here. So, all right, so you're on your deathbed. All your works of everything is gone, erased. It's not on YouTube, it's not on anything.
Okay.
And you only have what you're given, a piece of paper, and you can only give 1 to 3 pieces of advice to become successful.
Oh man.
Okay. What would that be?
Wow. 3 pieces of advice. I would say 3 pieces of advice to be successful?
Yeah.
Man.
For sure.
Holy
it's big,
shit.
Right?
That's tough. I would say surround yourself with people that you love and love you.
That's a really good one.
Know that you're worth it. And don't waste time worrying.
Those are good ones.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, that's principles, because it's like at this point you can't exactly give tactics, but principles and mindset are important. All right, so where can people stalk you and send you dick pics?
501 Ridge. No, I mean, I'm on all social media platforms. Chris Boogy with a Y. You can also follow my boy band, Double Take Boy Band, on all social media platforms. And
TikTok starting today.
and TikTok.
All right, dope. Well, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Emeroy TV. This might be on Vision Paradox TV and on my podcast. So make sure you guys give him a follow, show him some love, send him some really quality DMs, and on TikTok. I appreciate you guys watching. And call to action. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, share this with friends who you think might benefit from it, and hit the bell button so you guys are getting fucking notifications of when our shit comes out.
Yeah.
So, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.